I haven't done a video in a while because people were complaining about my typing and all so forth and talking. So I want to do a prerequisite on this. This is about neighborhood watches. And I want to define the fact that Obama's press secretary was caught in a meeting saying they are controlling internet searches through Google and Yahoo to not have certain things come up. So all of you that try to do searches and can't find things need to rethink how you're doing it. Everything I'm going to state I got from newspapers in local areas that can't be edited that well because they have archives. On neighborhood watches, if you go to cities like Harrisburg, Philadelphia, Richmond, Roanoke, even Charleston in West Virginia, and do some searches on local papers, people who have neighborhood watch signs on their house and their cars get vandalized. In these areas, I mean, you can go Spokane, Washington, all these places that have neighborhood watches and people walk around. They have been harassed, they have been beat up. They have had their phones taken away and smashed to destroy video evidence of the bad guys. You got to understand, what you see from your living room window is only 10% of what goes on in your neighborhood. So yes, watching out the windows is wonderful, but it's not going to solve the problem. And walking around the neighborhood is great, but you're taking your life in your hands with druggies and gangs. Now in Weirton, we have a major drug problem, whether you all want to admit it or not, and it's causing break-ins and thefts and meth houses. In just the last 6 months, 5 meth houses on Orchard Street busted. You know, we need the watches. We need to get out. Crime happens in the middle of the night. 90% of the time, crime happens in the middle of the night. And what happens during the day happens at houses where there's nobody home because people are working. So yes, neighbors can make a difference there watching. Now, patrols catch many things just walking around. And I know there's people that don't like the idea of carrying a gun on a patrol because they say it's going to be a Zimmerman issue. What you people don't realize, the Zimmerman issue wasn't Stand Your Ground or Castle Doctrine, and I'm going to define them so you people understand it here in a minute. It was an attack on him after he chose to walk away. That's why he's found innocent. Whether you people want to believe it or not, that's the truth. Now, my freedom of speech and to carry a gun supersedes your freedom to be afraid of it. Courts have ruled that. Your fear of a gun has no precedence over my right to carry a gun. So, all you people that want to whine and cry that guns walking around with are going to cause a problem, they are not going to cause a problem. Yes, you have idiots that go out and get guns, but you have idiots in gangs, you have idiot druggies, and there's a whole lot more of them than there are idiots that go get guns. Now, I want you to define Castle Doctrine. People don't understand. Castle Doctrine law applies to you. It gives you the absolute benefit of the doubt if you use deadly force that you are in the correct. If you're in your house, if you're in your car, if you're in a restaurant, establishment, standing in line at Walmart, any place that you're legally allowed to be inside of a building, Castle Doctrine law applies with deadly force. Where it doesn't apply is standing in the middle of the street out there. That's where Stand Your Ground comes in. And what you people have to understand, the Stand Your Ground law is written, if you're imposing bodily threat to me, I have the right to use up to and including deadly force. It doesn't say you have to have a gun. It doesn't say you have to have a knife. If you're opposing a bodily threat to me that could cause me bodily damage, I have a right to use deadly force. Now, as a human being that believes in God, deadly force is not the resolve to go to all the time. And I wouldn't. I open carry. Everybody in town knows I do. There's been complaints about it. There's been a whole lot of people that have supported me in it and said, great to see it. I don't intimidate people with my guns. I don't point to my guns out. People are staring at them, and I tell them they're nothing to worry about. But what happens, the idiots go away. migrate away from me. So if more people were doing it to where everybody in town, they knew anywhere they went there was going to be somebody with a gun, they migrate away. They go away. Kennesaw, Georgia is a perfect example. 82. Legalized, everybody had to have a gun. Crime's down. Drugs are down. Have been for 40 years in that area. Come on, get with it. Now, neighborhood watch walking around with a gun. You're going to get, I will probably get a confrontation from people that say I'm being a big badass. No, I'm not. Kids like me. People in the neighborhood talk to me. Everybody thinks I'm a pretty alright guy. I'm a little extreme on my views of right and wrong. And most people accept that even if they don't agree with it because they can see where my point's coming from. You got to keep in mind, fear is a motivator. Right now, we as citizens with children, grandchildren, and so on, we are in fear of the druggies and the thugs and all this other stuff. That's why we're wanting to start this. Fear causes action. We have to make them, the bad guys, the druggies, the thugs, more afraid of us than the police. Because right now, neighborhood watches, there's an interesting thing that I didn't go to the meeting. It was my grandson's birthday. I had made plans to come. I had all this written down. I was going to be there. But my grandson takes priority because he's, just turned 6. That's an important thing. Now, you got to understand, you see somebody doing something wrong. Breaking into a house. Breaking into a car. The police come out. He's not there. He's left. They try to get fingerprints, whatever they want off the car. If they don't find a fingerprint, hair fiber, something tying him to that, then it's your word against his. And that's a civil matter. It's not a criminal matter. That's a civil matter. Your word against his. Now, quite a few police in town have told me they think it would still be a criminal matter. But if you talk to the prosecuting attorney, he'll tell you. If they don't see it, if they don't have evidence, it's a civil matter. Now, do you want to spend money out of your pocket to fight somebody breaking into a stranger's car? It's one thing. I will stand up and defend my neighbor's car. I will go out there and tell them to get away. I will stand there. If they come after me, I will take them down. And don't mean physically shoot them. They have to have a ball bat, knife, gun, something for me to shoot them. But they come at me, I'll take them down. But no, I'm not going to spend thousands of dollars out of my pocket with lawyers to fight for a neighbor's car that got broken into or the neighbor's house. And that's what it would boil down to. It's awful funny that the laws are talked about. They're gone over. They're worded out. They're talk this, they're talk that. But nobody understands them. I have officers in town to come out here. I'm in downtown. I chose to live downtown for a reason when I came back to Weirton. I want to make a difference. We've had cops up here 4 or 5 times for one guy that's off his meds in the neighborhood and acted a fool. We've had some break-ins up here. Not at my house, not at my cars. Because the kids know. Even the druggies and the thugs know. So they stay away. But I've had cops tell me they think I'm the smartest person in town carrying them guns. Because I don't have to use them. People knowing I have them makes the bad guys stay away from me. I've had so many people with young kids come up to me and say, explain to my kids why you carry a gun. Explain to them the good guys carry guns. And this in town here. Hell, it just happened to me day before yesterday at Walmart. We want the neighborhood watches. We want to take control. And I'm all for people looking. But you're going to have to be out at night. Sitting in your bedroom window, looking out the window is not going to do it. Because you'll see a guy go around the house. What if it's just some kid cutting through the yard to get home because he's late? And most people that work, if you're not working the night shift, are sleeping when the crime happens. That's why these thugs, druggies, gangbangers pick that time to go. People are sleeping or they're at work on third shift, midnight to 6 in the morning. So if you want patrols, I'm all for it. I walk down the street every once in a while. Everybody in the street knows me. They all know I have a gun. It isn't even an issue. But I know for a fact that 3 people moved out of the neighborhood because of me. And the owner of the homes that rents them said that he found drug paraphernalia in all 3. And he'd been trying to get them out. And the fear of me did what he couldn't do through the court system. And, you know, it's awful funny. I help everybody. I've junked cars in the neighborhood. I've helped people fix things. I even helped one of them pick their kid up at school one day when their car was down. The ones that moved out saying they were afraid of me. But see, it's their actions that make them afraid. They know that if I see them doing that, I'm going to turn them in a heartbeat, because I'm one of them good is good and bad's bad people. No middle ground area. Very seldom middle ground area. I shouldn't say no. There's very seldom a middle ground area. It's either right or wrong. And in this state right now, marijuana is wrong. You know, it may change. Nothing I can do about it, but it may change. So what I want to tell you, finish this up, is I love that neighborhood watch idea, but do some research in other cities. Neighborhood watches have been harassed, attacked, vandalized, signs torn down, windows broken on houses and cars for having the signs on there. So what we need to do is know that you better be able to protect yourself if you're going to take the job of protecting your neighborhood. Because the bad guys are going to target you because you are a threat to them, and that's what they don't want. Thank you.